Once upon a time, in a house that smelled perpetually of cinnamon and sugar, lived a boy named Leo. Now, Leo wasn't just any boy, he was the village's youngest master baker. Today, he was wearing his favorite bright yellow rain boots, even though there wasn't a cloud in the sky. His papa was carefully lining a wicker basket with a checkered cloth. "Leo," Papa said, his voice serious but kind, "these blueberry muffins are for your grandpa at the Bird Observatory. He's been counting starlings all morning and must be famished." Papa knelt down to look Leo in the eye. "Listen closely. The forest is a giant puzzle. Stay on the pebble path. If you stay on the stones, you'll stay safe. Do not wander off, no matter what." Leo gripped the handle of the basket and nodded. "I promise, Papa. Stone by stone, I'll be there soon." The great blue forest was magnificent. The trees were so tall they seemed to be tickling the bellies of the clouds. Leo skipped along, keeping his yellow boots strictly on the gray, rounded stones of the pebble path. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Everything was going perfectly. That is, until he reached the great oak tree. From behind the thick trunk, a bushy red tail flicked into view. Out stepped Felix the fox. He wasn't scary, in fact. He looked quite dapper in a small silk bow tie. "Good morning, little baker." Felix purred, his nose twitching at the scent of the basket. "My, those muffins smell like a summer afternoon. Heading to the observatory, I presume?" Leo slowed down. "I am. I'm staying on the path, just like Papa said." Felix the fox chuckled, a sound like dry leaves rubbing together. "The pebble path? Oh, how dreadfully dull. Did you know that just 20 paces down the Mossy trail, the silver lilies are in bloom? They glow in the dark, you know. Imagine the look on your grandpa's face if you brought him a glowing flower." Leo looked at the mossy trail. It looked like a plush, emerald carpet. It looked magical. And surely 20 paces wouldn't hurt? "Maybe just a quick look," Leo whispered to himself. He took one step off the stones. Then another. The moss felt like clouds under his boots. But the silver lilies weren't 20 paces away. They weren't 40 paces away either. In fact, the further Leo walked, the more the trees seemed to lean in, whispering to each other. He looked back. The pebble path was gone. The bright sunlight was replaced by a dim, watery green light. Felix the fox had vanished, too probably back to his den to nap. Leo's heart began to thump 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 against his ribs like a little drum. He reached for a flower, but it wasn't a silver lily at all. It was just a plain, dusty weed. "Oh no," Leo sobbed softly. "The moss looks so easy, but now I don't know which way is home." Suddenly, a pair of huge, golden eyes snapped open in the branches above. It was the great forest owl. He looked very wise and very sleepy. Who is making such a fuss?" the owl asked, ruffling his feathers. "It's me, Leo," the boy cried. "I left the path because a fox told me there were treasures in the deep woods. Now I'm lost, and the muffins are getting cold." The owl leaned down. "Little baker, the fox lives for tricks, but the path lives for truth. You chose the easy way and found it was the hard way. But look at your feet." Leo looked down at his yellow boots. There, scattered among the dark ferns, were tiny, bright blue feathers. "The bluebirds leave a trail for those who know how to look," the owl whispered. "Follow the blue, and you'll find the gray." Leo didn't wait a second. He followed the feathers, hopping over fallen logs and ducking under spider webs. Finally, clack, his boot hit something hard. It was a pebble. He was back on the path. He didn't look left. He didn't look right. He ran as fast as his yellow boots could carry him until he saw the tall wooden tower of the Bird Observatory. Grandpa was sitting in his rocking chair, peering through a brass telescope. When he saw Leo, his face lit up like a lantern. "Leo, I thought I smelled blueberry muffins on the wind." Leo set the basket down and hugged his grandpa's waist tight. "I'm here, Grandpa. I had a little trouble with a fox and some moss, but I found my way back." Grandpa smiled and handed Leo a glass of cold milk. "The forest has many voices, Leo, but the best one to listen to is the one that tells you the truth." And as they sat together, eating muffins and watching the birds, Leo decided that from now on, he'd keep his yellow boots on the stones. Because the longest way around is often the shortest way home,